what exactly everything is.
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. At this point, I think everyone knows what this mode is because it hasn't changed in years, but
Yeah.
I mean, history is what it was. Though I will say there's a little anti-theme going on. Is that a Sylveon? Because Leaf should totally be a Leafeon, right?
I don't believe we have a Leafeon sprite. Yes, it is. That is Sylveon.
Man, I'll tell you, playing Pokemon Champions will teach you to hate Sylveon.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, wonderful. Everybody's favorite thing, laser bridge with 3 hearts, 30 seconds into a race. Technically doable, will probably cost you more time.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's out of logic. Logically, you have to have the Mirror Shield or the Cape or the Cane of Burnup. But pragmatically speaking, if you're going to be in a competitive tournament, you just have to be able to do this, and it doesn't make sense to come back. Even if you get hit by a laser or two, it's just worth it.
I mean, I think I would probably just skip it because this was Lake Shop, and well, it's Lake Shop, so. Meanwhile, Leaf has found Hive Cable. We're sitting over here at Pygmy Castle main entrance with a sword and a Gita VR. Also, the Quake Medallion. And I will note that our Tier 1 triple is Red Rupees. And there's our sync card.
So for those trying this at home and looking for what you're going to do with some of these laser skips, there's a little point that treesapthief could have taken advantage of. Once you fall in the pit, if you respawn at the door, you actually have enough time to walk straight to the chest closer to whichever door you are, so the top and bottom ones are free, even if you're not very good at laser skips. It's only the middle two that require you to actually time it.
Yeah. Honestly, our sync item today was the boomerang, which is also nice, because it looks like our stun prize is bombs. So, honestly, this is not going to be a resource, a problematic resource seed.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the sword, you just can very quickly get whatever you need off random enemies. So that should be pretty advantageous.
Yeah. It's magic battle.
On the other side, we do see treesapthief doing the eastern area early. With bombs in Link's house, I think this is pretty justifiable. Normally, this route's super scary to take in the early game because you walk over here, you find Agana's cave, and I mean, you're just very sad, right?
Yeah. Of course, that being said, we're probably going to inevitably front of desert. Back at desert, I should say. We're seeing a rare light world attempt at a current jump here on Leaf's side.
And like, if you hit that first try, it probably saves time, but even second try, I think you're faster to just take the bridge.
Maybe, yeah. Oh. I mean, bombs are free. Ooh, mini Moldorm Cave.
I mean, so on Leaf's side, we're seeing a very comfy start, and we are seeing exactly the opposite of that on treesapthief. You have to do 3 heart nothing laser bridge, followed by 6 bomb mini Moldorm Cave. And in this position, like, you just have to do it, and it's not that free.
That is true. I will point out, we have vanilla potion shop. Because, you know, sometimes entrance is randomized and sometimes they just do funny things.
I don't know if it's still true. I know in early versions of the entrance randomizer, the item in the potion shop would not immediately spawn if you turned in the mushroom if it specifically landed in its vanilla location. Be interesting to see if it's still true in the modern version.
Yeah, I don't think so. Usually I've... Alright, we'll see where Leaf heads to now. Maybe walks over to Kakariko. No, gonna do everyone's favorite lane open.
I'll be honest, with bombs being free, I really don't know that this is a good use of time. Like, you don't need money to buy bombs.
I think this is more... Leaf wants to go and reset towards doing, like, maybe what we just saw on treesapthief's side and doing South Dark World, like, you know, East Light World. and was going to restart to Link's house anyway, so I just opted to do it and grab the money for possibly Zora later on. I mean, Smokey over here in the woods, and it's our hair Smokey.
Hero Smolky, that's a Smolky that no one's ever sad to see.
Ganon's in the forest. We've seen...
And we're seeing the very similar struggles on Laser Bridge. Of course, Leaf has a little bit of an easier setup here because they have the sword, so at least they can deal with the hard hat beetle really easily.
Yeah. See if Leaf opts to go for the seat. No, I'm gonna get some... Ooh, and treesapthief is out of bombs. Which is unfortunate because we just found Paradox Cave, which would be a place where you can buy a refill. And Chicken Hut. C-shaped house, are you gonna have bombs? No, you're gonna just have money.
Also, 41 rupees, so even if there's a shop in CAC, which mathematically is quite likely there is, can't afford it.
Yeah. Small key on the island.
So, a small thing that just happened here is Leaf walked up and spent the key to open the path to Trinex. Now, there's a significant chance that's just not going to matter, but it will limit some options some if the middle of Turtle Rock shows up very early.
I mean, realistically, like, we're only going to care more about that if the Waterfall Fairy, by the way, had a Rune Pearl. Leaf's going to go steal the Desert Key, which... but, like, realistically, like, Laser Bridge is here, so I think that's probably the right call, this early on. Was that Desert and Skull is our reds? I believe.
Okay,
right,
there's a massive bailout for treesapthief. Because, like, you have the well, you have the Chicken Hut here. You need those bombs. Like, you're actually going to lose a ton of time in early game if you just leave all the stuff behind in CAC.
Yeah. Oh, this is a connector. Where's the brothers connector? That is both of our fairy fountains, by the way, or the Great Fairies in Kakariko.
Now, with 62 rupees, especially getting that 300, what Leaf should do, or treesapthief should do, is pop into Paradox Cave and just buy a 10-pack of bombs. Just put the whole issue to rest.
Yeah. Alright, well, it's time to engage plan. Throw ourselves into that Ark world with a mirror. And Moon Pearl. Not sure how exactly we're going to do this quite yet. It's probably going to have to be like South Shore or further down in the southern part of Kakariko.
I mean, what you're going to do is you're going to use that mirror to break into Paradox Cave. Just go from there.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah. We did have a Hookshot Cave sitting up here at the top of the Lost Woods in what would normally be the gambling den, but
okay, there's just no way you really walked into that bomb shop and didn't buy them. And instead, like, you're checking this 50-50 bush. Like, buying it would be cheaper than pulling all those extra bushes.
yeah. Well, that's the front of the tavern. go very far. Leaf's gonna have a much cleaner time through here. Is gonna find the mirror, essentially find the mirror. Look at all those red rubies. But Leaf,
So
Leaf,
where
Leaf,
was Hype Cave?
Castle Main.
Because sort of a big deal here is that once Leaf clears out CAC, Leaf will have everything treesapthief has.
Yeah.
But the reverse is not true, because it's entirely possible with what treesapthief has to go on a Dark World adventure. And, like, the Quake's not going to matter, but the sword will just passively save you time going forward.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. That is our invincibility item on Laser Bridge. I mean, there really wasn't anything in the Swamp Palace big key is about the only thing of note that was on.
Yeah, that was in Laser Bridge, so they both have that.
Yeah. Yeah, but leave just starting with bombs going into Kakariko Village is going to be able to pull the 300 out of Chicken Hut. Go get the mirror, go get the Moon Pearl, just keep going, running south. And not have to do so many double backs.
And it's kind of looking like there's not a connector in the southern side of CAC either, so... Well, you kind of have an interesting choice, because you want to go check that shovel, but I don't know if you really want to check the shovel. You kind of really want to do Paradox Cave and then check it with Stumpy, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, I kind of agree with Jay Coper in chat. Once you have Pearl and Mirror,
Yeah.
honestly, you might consider just not even going to Southern CAC. I mean, you'll be there in the Dark World anyway.
Yeah. Leaf's about to go by the mirror, so this will be interesting to see what happens, because you might just like, well, let's see where Paradox goes. Yeah, there's the Moon Pearl. Actually, both of the fairies were the left in the Snitch Lady houses. Oh, and there was a bow too.
Yeah, this is what I would call a very generous early game seed. I mean, you have multiple viable weapons. You have Mirror and Pearl. You have easy access to bombs and rupees. We see, 80 rupees.
Yeah.
No, don't go back through. Like, that was convenient. Just keep going.
Leaf didn't check the drop, I don't think.
But what are you expecting to find?
I mean, Leaf hadn't checked the drop. But yes, I understood. Oh hey, bombs behind the bomb. The single arrow. What a useless connector.
As a player, it's often really nice to find connectors like that, just because they simplify the world geography by existing.
Yeah. Oh. Or other boomerang. More money. More money.
Now that treesapthief has expertly found 7 places the progression isn't, we can see where these other connectors go.
Yeah. Now, you're not logically expected. Well, okay, cool. We're not logically expected to be able to get into Paradox Cave by using the block delete. So it's kind of interesting to see where the other two sides of it go.
Okay, you have blue mail, just hold forward. Wow, that is an impressively poor Paradox Cave. All 7 items are bad, every connector is bad. That is actually really unlikely. At least in this position, being sent to the desert you haven't been to yet has some routing convenience, but Wow.
Yeah.
And fully vanilla Agonix Cave.
Yeah. Your game's almost vanilla too, at least in the Light and Dark worlds. Ice Palace here for Leaf. So we've seen Ice, we've seen Mire. I think those are the only dungeons we've managed to run. Desert Palace back.
And of course we've seen Turtle Rock.
Yeah, TR. I mean, TR, back at TR in Laser Bridge really is a dungeon. But he's gonna go for the shovel play.
There's another connector. Can't do it yet, but given how few entrances we have left in the light world, you very much keep that bumper cave in mind. It could be the answer. Especially because that's the back, so either cape or hookshot gets you through.
Alright, Graveyard Ledge.
And yeah, at this point, if you're treesapthief, I guess you're routing towards Zora. Like, there's really just not very much left to us.
Yeah, there's Mimic Cave. Realistically, between the two runners, I know the answer literally has to be Mini Moldorm Cave or the two Ice Rod Cave entrances that are available to us right now. Not Mini Moldorm Cave. So, what's over here sitting out in the Ice Rod Cave region, which I think Leaf is going to go for? Yeah.
Oh, you have to check those two caves, treesapthief. Like,
oh,
we know that's the answer. treesapthief still thinks the castle could be the answer, but given that you've already seen the well, you have to kind of mathematically know that the odds are actually skewed toward Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, you have to know. Well, I don't think treesapthief hasn't done the. Never went and saw Magic Bat or the Uncle. It's a chess game, but yeah, no, I don't disagree. You can walk back down and then do this. And what's our answer here? It's not here. Interesting. What are we missing?
Have we overlooked a connector somewhere?
Oh, it's Hookshot Cave. No, yeah, it's Hookshot Cave at the back of the back of the Lost Woods.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense, because Hookshot Cave can go almost literally anywhere in Dark World, and it just opens the seed.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, for Leaf, I think Leaf will probably... Leaf might go... I don't know if Leaf will go all the way up to Zora. Probably at least you do the cheeky peek into Waterfall Fairy. And...
I kind of think you almost have to go for Zora here, because you'll get Link State because you have Pearl. And you have bows, so you can do the Ancillifake flippers to get Zora.
True.
Ledge.
Yeah, no, actually, no, you do have the... yeah, with the bow, probably. Because, like, it's just a kind of like a... Do you want to play for the Zora item, or do you want to play for the entrance on, like, Hylia? And...
Of course, we know what the entrance on Lake Hylia is. Leaf has yet to make the Paradox Cave play, which is a bit surprising, but surely won't be too long before Leaf picks up their garbage.
Yeah.
Ooh, hitting the portal going south can be a little awkward.
Yeah. Alright, it's baited the fireball enough to the right. You know?
That's a good one. And you're very happy to have Pearl when you find this.
Also, I will point out, Leaf actually has not gone out to the... Did not go out towards, like, the desert. So this means it hasn't even checked the dam yet, so Leaf will be able to see the dam item. if it's anything important as of right now. Yeah, Leaf probably will end this with going right to Zora just because it might not be in logic, but it's better to get him to kill this early. Get this out of the way.
I mean, part of the thinking you have to have is Zora goes in logic with a glove or the flippers.
Yeah.
And the odds that you find one of those, you know, at some reasonably soon point are pretty high.
Yeah.
So I didn't spot what was on Zora Ledge. Was it some bad item?
A third of the way to Laser Bridge being in logic. Just a shield.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're not going to see that picked up.
No. treesapthief is going to go to Hookshot Cave and not make the play for the castle. Understandable. So we'll probably be the first one into whatever this chain of connectors gets it into the Dark World somehow. But it's still missing the sword from Hyrule Castle.
Now, technically, if you get routed to the pyramid relatively quickly, it's actually more efficient. You can combo it. It's just a question of whether treesapthief is going to be forced somewhere where a sword would be really nice. Like, say, rescuing the old man.
Yeah. Alright, what was our item on the... our Dram Dane? Just our piece. So
I'm going to be honest, I always pick that item up just to reduce lag. I'm pretty sure it is still faster to leave it there, but it's annoying.
I think it's not too bad now that Fast ROM's coming about, but yeah. So Leaf will be joining treesapthief over and doing everything much more fast, much more quicker when it comes to rescuing an old man, because you can just use the old sword sparkles. Did I just say Dram Dane? I don't know. I just got done watching the Mario Maker showcase over on SGDQ, so I'm in a bit of a Mario World state of mind. Leaf's gonna make the Paradox play. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, if you're looking at this from Leaf's perspective, what you have to be thinking is the odds Paradox Cave is a useful answer. Like, it's obviously not the logical answer, are just so high. You have 2 exits, you get 7 items here. What are the odds that all of it is garbage?
Yeah. I will note that treesapthief walked into Thieves Town with a mirror, and it locked immediately out.
Yeah, honestly, whether you have a mirror or not, I don't think in Crosskeys you can really ever justify not getting the first 4 in Thieves. Like, the Zyzax will give you a convenient warp to the entrance even if you don't have the mirror.
Yeah. It just feels like the answer is it's probably going to be something. It could just be something as simple as Cape or Hookshot is in Thieves Town. And
it's also worth noting we're still very thin here, so it's entirely possible you kind of bottleneck around needing whatever is in Thieves Town.
Yeah, and that's not good. That's Super Money Cave.
I mean, it's good in the sense that it's very likely that leads you to the main Dark World.
Yeah.
Because, like, here, what? You check the Hera entrance, and then you hop down, and you just take Super Bunny Cave to wherever it's going to take you.
Yeah, but you gotta also really need to make that plane to Thieves Town. So right now...
Yeah,
yeah,
though,
it's just...
I'll say having another easy connector here is a bit of a relief, because the nightmare scenario was
Yeah,
that the hammer's there and your answer's on East Death Mountain, right? You end up going
true.
off on a journey, which I
Yeah,
guess is probably not going to happen now.
yeah. Uh, yeah. So for those wondering who came in a little bit late, the runners opted to be able to like kind of roll a bunch of different settings. They rolled absolutely vanilla. So
I was about to ask so many questions how middle TR is good, but front of thieves is not.
yeah,
But I mean,
especially
treesapthief rethought it anyway. Might have just been looking to see if these other entrances, I mean, I don't know, at the Thieves' Big Key, I don't know what else you're even looking for. And you can't fight blind without that sword from the castle anyway.
yeah. Another TR small, which is interesting, but at this point doesn't really matter too much. We found a way into middle TR and Laser Bridge, so 2 TRs. Logically, we'll need 4 TR smalls. We have to be trying next day, but practically we only need 2 at most.
Well, that's a good item. Okay, so Thieves was about to make all our criticisms seem so wrong, and then it gave the swamp small, and yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
item to have.
yeah, especially considering that we know that we, because of what Leaf did, that we know the Swamp Palace is just hard flippers locked today. So as soon as you get the flippers, you can go into Swamp.
So, when it comes to routing these, realistically, the way Crosskeys is structured, you have to full clear the game most of the time, or near full clear. You know, you'll leave a handful of entrances, there might be one dungeon you don't explore that thoroughly. You're doing most of the game. There's 2 things that really separate runners. One of them's execution, but the other is just efficiency. Like, the way treesapthief just went kind of up and down into these dungeons multiple times, I mean, that can really add up.
Yeah. Sometimes you get bad luck with this, but other times it's just kind of like... also, like, knowing how to manipulate the overworld in order to, like, get around to different places. That is a 4-key locked sword.
I mean, that is a great, like, the most valuable one you'll ever find is the first one.
Yeah. Though, admittedly, like, that'll, you know, like, having a second sword is not bad either. Because
Yeah, I mean,
especially...
the second sword is still really nice. And then, you know, the third is really nice too, and the fourth is a thing you might find.
I mean, the third only really starts saving you time when it comes to, like, fighting bosses, realistically. But...
We just had a real discussion with the chain chomps, but nothing bad ended up happening.
Alright, super money time. The good thing is though, at least, like, from a... I wonder if Leaf is having some sort of input error. So this movement's a little weird. But, yeah, just... I will also kind of just say that, like... the good thing is that at least with the second sword being at Castle, that means that whenever...
Well, that's a pretty significant couple of items to get on the connector.
What does Glove do for us? It's 3 entrances.
Which
It's
are immediately important.
It's 4 entrances. Now, I don't think... treesapthief never actually did make it out fully out to Ice Rod Cave, so...
Yeah,
Are we
this
gonna...
honestly, like, I've been a little critical of some of the micro routing from treesapthief, but the macro routing is actually gone his way.
Yeah.
Like, treesapthief is strictly ahead right now. I mean, certainly not a decisive amount. The race is still early, but the early routing has gone well.
I mean, I don't know. Like, right now, it's... I think there's about a minute or so difference, but Leaf's also got a trip up to Zora, and I don't know, like, there are places where Leaf has some time, especially, like, it looks like Swamp House is going to be required, I think. But, yeah. But also, like, I think what Leaf could do is theoretically go restart its Sanctuary after checking the, like, that, you know, that Desert Fairy entrance. And when Leaf checks the Desert Fairy entrance, save quits and restarts its Sanctuary, and then you can fake Flipper, use the pool south of the Lost Woods to take the rail transition and get yourself back over to Ice Rod Cave area faster. But we'll see.
Oh, treesapthief not going to Zora, which mostly means not finding the dam. Probably not that punishing. I mean, there's easily, you could just say, find the flippers and pair it with catfish, and that's even more efficient, right? Now, of course, we can all point out what the funniest possibility is, which is that the other glove or the hammer is just in Crystal Roller Room. Like, there's really no way anyone would not do what both these players did, where you check what's in middle TR, and then you take Super Bunny, and then you're super far away, and you do everything else before going back, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, and this will be the second sword here for treesapthief. Also more pegs.
And treesapthief is happy to find that second TR small because he burned the key to just not have to kill the Pokey swordless, and that's pretty much confirmation you're definitely not punished for that.
Both runners converging about the same entrance at 33 minutes in. Interesting. Interesting. You know what the answer is?
I mean, it's got to be Crystal Roller Room, right?
No.
Oh, that too. Well, that isn't the logical answer, but it's what you're going to do.
Yeah. No. If you remember, the Eastern Palace entrance takes us to the back of Desert.
And that does what for us?
We have a glove to lift the rocks to get to Desert Palace left.
Wait. It takes us, like, to the interior of the back of Desert. How does that get you to that ledge?
No, it's on the ledge. We're at the Desert Palace back entrance.
Oh, I thought that's where the actual dungeon itself was.
No.
I mean, that could also work. I mean, it could also totally be Crystal Roller Room.
Yeah. I think Lee's gonna go for the logic. Unfortunately, like, if this is just going to lead towards a lamp, then this could be a problem for me.
I mean, even if it leads to, like, another sequential connector, and that leads to the same general chunk of Dark World, then, I mean, what have you really gained, right?
All right. It could, for all we know, like it could lead us to Buffer Ledge, and you'd start in the North Dark World instead. Sanctuary drop down is the ferry. Sorry, Sanctuary drop down is Magic Pad. Oh.
So yeah, it is just another connector. This is a connector with an item. An item that treesapthief will probably not have for a very long time, but it's just a big 20.
Oh.
And Leaf misses that trick. Probably not that big of a deal to miss the trick. Well, treesapthief
It's heading for Dark Cross.
has gotten the Dark Cross item and is...
Oh.
Is there an unmarked sewers key here?
I don't. I think they stole the key.
I thought I saw them make it to Zelda's cell. Maybe I'm just being silly. Did they go, like, most the way and warp out of the boomerang guy room?
I think so. Okay.
And yeah, there's the lamp, so... This is kind of... well, that's just funny. So, this is an interesting situation all around. Leaf has access to a chunk of the overworld that treesapthief is not going to find very easily. It now has a lamp, which could be important in other ways. Whereas, treesapthief has hard orphaned the item in Zelda's cell. If you steal the key from the boomerang guard, you're betting your entire race that that chest is nothing.
Yeah. Do you have descent there for Leaf? Check the board.
And yeah, it's really not what I'd call surprising that we're finding so many connectors now, given just how few of them were in Light World.
Yeah.
And especially because we've already seen where Desert Right, or how you come out to Desert Right, it's really likely these connectors are just going to kind of ping you all across the Dark World.
Yeah. Honestly, we're gonna basically, like, full finish off whatever is sitting here on the mountain, because Leaf can just drop back down and just do one more cycle through and do the last two entrances.
Yeah, it's always really nice when something at the foot of the mountain connects to the floating island. It lets you make these sort of routing moves like Leaf is making, and it, well, just saves time.
Yeah. Fun at TR.
And yeah, with that, TR small keys have pretty much lost all possible meaning in this seed.
Ooh.
We're always excited to see GT, but for now we really can't do much with it. You get 2 chests and you leave. You can look at a third if you're really curious. Hey, could you imagine having a bow in the Eastern Big Key before walking into Eastern's front door?
Yeah. I mean, I know people who dream of that, and have emotes designed to dream about that.
So, fun story. The very first, like, big community ALttPR tournament was on good old V18, which had some really funny biases in how it placed the items. I figured out pretty early on, the whole trick to beating a lot of people was just don't go to Eastern.
Hey, that avatar, that sprite looks familiar. All right, so Crystal Roller Room still a possibility. All this stuff is now in logic because that lamp was like, that's actually, it's very good overall knowledge for Leaf, even if realistically, like, the only major item picked up there was the lamp.
That's fascinating. The Hyrule Castle connectors were, like, completely circular. The treesapthief does have the Cane of Samaria, and we've seen... Well, now Leaf has it, too. We've seen just about every piece of TR, so that could lead to some extra angles.
I'm actually surprised that treesapthief didn't take Cane of Samaria and at least got a Crystal Roller with it.
I mean, there is a part of you that wants to just keep finding more entrances. You find the TR big chest, you can open it and get Crystal Roller Room in one fell swoop.
Sure.
Yeah, now that we've made it up to Village Outcast, tragically without that Eastern big key.
Yeah.
And minor moment of truth here. What is in Zelda's cell?
Yeah. Now, I know why treesapthief stole the key. It's because Lumberjack is Boar of Sanctuary is today. So obviously, like, it's Hyrule Castle or 2 Castle Tower small keys to get to the back. Was the thief sound big key back there? Or is that somewhere else?
Okay, a bottle. Most probably, that's not that big of a deal. We have seen Sick Kid. Sick Kid is logically available to us. But probably treesapthief is fine.
Yeah. Alright, Pod.
Pod with one small, no big, no hammer. The routing here is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Grab the 3 items, bail. And I don't really mind, like,
5 items, because
5 items, yeah,
and you can do all that.
Right, yeah.
And then you know you don't logically need to come back until you have 4 keys. Like, it's... Pod can often lead to hard decisions. This is one of the cases where it just doesn't.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't really mind a lot of this either. Leaf's just gonna kind of like circle around. This actually won't be too bad, like, of a kind of a routing for Leaf, because Leaf will kind of just end up on the other side of the Dark World from where they were gonna go anyway. This will kind of just get all the other couple other entrances. Might as well just save quit out of, like, Swamp Palace and just go back down to Stumpy from Archery game.
And in fact, that is exactly the decision Leaf made.
Yeah.
Bombos is a fun one because now we can enter Ice Palace.
With Kane.
I don't think without Hammer, either player is going to be in a hurry to make that play, but it is an available play.
Yep. I mean, it's also legitimately a mirror away from a save quit, so, like, it and Eastern Palace are going to be, like, emergency progression places. Leaf will probably get to them faster, I think, just because they've been a lot more thorough.
I mean, in Leaf's situation, if Eastern has value, that's a huge plus for Leaf, because...
True.
Like, True. Leaf has no reason at all, really, to walk into Eastern and do anything but clear it. Oh, we get the early play toward Graveyard Ledge. A lot of players would choose to try to clear out Skull Woods before this, but this can pay off. It's a connector. Yeah, you have to take it here, largely because you know you kind of played against what other people would do, so you got to see if it pays off, right?
Yeah, now where is this going to go? Because we've hit almost all of our must connects except for Laser Bridge.
It could be Bumper Ledge, because we came out the Light World side of it, which was very funny.
Yeah. That's where it is. All right.
Yeah, of course, what you were hoping for if you were Tree Sap Thief was that it would dump you out at the Mire region.
Yeah. Having to look for mitts off the table later on, but unfortunately not the case.
Of course, Tree Sap Thief will never know this, but picking up that bottle on Bumper Ledge removes all possible scenarios by which you could possibly be punished for the Zelda cell thing.
Yeah. We did see Sick hit up on the
Leaf going for an interesting fake flipper. Actually, I think a pretty good play in this situation, because this will be access to Southeast Dark World and the entirety of the main East Dark World.
Yeah, not working out though.
If you pull off the trick, which Leaf didn't really have enough bombs to do it without substantially more farming.
Yeah. Well, this will be Village of Outcast for Leaf, which means Eastern Palace will probably get done, and we'll see if the Crystal Lure Pendant. I'd have to say I kind of feel like it's pretty decent. It's going to be a Crystal. Pod is feeling very like we're not quite an hour in, but I feel like Pod's probably going to end up being a pendant just because of the amount of small keys seen so far. But those things can always pile up really quickly.
I mean, from a logic perspective, we don't really have anything pointing other than the fact that we know 2 crystals. Both players know the same 2 crystals, so everything else is just, you know, a 3 out of 8 or a 5 out of 8. Yeah, it looks like we have a friendly Skull Woods layout today.
And because we are playing on a randomizer branch that does not shuffle the pinball room small key, this will be a guaranteed small key.
Yeah, the theory for that, for anyone unfamiliar, though I'm guessing most people can kind of guess, is it really just comes down to not forcing players to lose quite so hard to the drop lottery in Skull Woods. Because dropping into that room and not having a key is just, it's a really bad feeling.
Yeah. Like, I get it with the I know people don't like it in the you know, in VTOR branch, but at least I can kind of understand it a bit more there, just because realistically, like with that one, you have control over your drop. With not having any control over your drop, it's kind of not great.
Okay, so Tree Sap Thief has saved and quit out. Will be interesting to see where he goes. Leaf just found a big key in the eastern big key chest. It's the Mire big for us. Well, Leaf has actually both the Mire and the Desert big. I'm not entirely sure which one came out of there.
Both. They were consecutive checks. Top chest was the Desert big. Big chest was Mire big. We have seen the back of Desert, which means that is a clearable dungeon.
And we just learned Ice is a pendant, which is probably good news if you're a tree sap thief. What you're hoping for from his position is you want to find progression here and then never have to come back.
Yeah. Also, we did find our second bow in Eastern Palace. Oh, desert's small. So beating desert's 100% in logic now.
If you put both players together, at least.
Yeah, because obviously treesapthief does not have a fire source to actually kill to open up the back of desert.
Or the big key while we're at it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that trick can be a little finicky, but second try, perfectly fine. It's also just good to have a small key when coming into ice this way, because you can just open this door and it saves a whole lot of heartache.
Yeah.
And of note, Leaf now knows ice is a pendant. Yeah. So far, ice has only really had that desert small. We still have Ice Tea to check. Assuming Ice Tea is nothing, it's going to be a really big question, both is the desert small important, and are the checks that Tree Sap Thief is going to be forced to leave behind in ice important?
Yeah. Realistically, like right now, there's
that's important. Yeah, I think you do just route up for the last chest here. It's annoying. I mean, do you just mirror and then go right back? But do you have the magic for this? I think you're forced to leave it behind anyway, but that's really significant because Windblown Leaf has very little reason to make that play with, you know, the ability to clear out the back of desert and all that. And like, you don't want to go into ice without a hammer.
Conversely, like, I also see that could be a very last location to hammer for Leaf, just because I see, what I kind of see Leaf doing next is probably current jumping to East Dark World. You know, check Skull Woods, current jump to East Dark World, kind of get all that stuff out of the way. I'm really surprised Tree Sap Thief's coming over to Eastern Palace region without.
Well, Tree Sap Thief knows about this connector, right?
Yeah, but if you were to do this connector, like, you could be doing this, like, to get back to your point you were talking about earlier with, like, map traversal and everything. You have a hammer, you just do this in Dark World.
Oh, wait, that is what he's going to do. He's going to use the 5 connector.
Yeah, just
5 warp. Now, would it have been more efficient to take the warp south of Link's house and walk in Dark World? I mean, yes, but this is what we did.
Yeah. But, like, to the point where
But yeah, this is kind of we have what I would actually say is a pretty classic breadth versus depth race here, where Leaf is being very thorough. They're not leaving anything behind at any point. treesapthief is playing a little riskier, definitely ahead in linear progression, but has already missed a few things that could be really critical.
Yeah.
The main thread being the Eastern Big Key, which in turn led to the Big Keys for Desert and Mire.
Slav's also equipped a pendant. Interesting. And neither of them are a green pendant. They're red pendants. They're blue-reds. So if we find Saha, we'll get our full crystal pendant knowledge.
Okay, so you wonder what treesapthief's plan here is. Walking toward Pod has not done the way to Pod ferry entrance, and presumably would want to head toward the pyramid. Are we going to walk out of Pod, or are we going to mirror and check the connector at Eastern?
I have to imagine this would be mirror check the connector at Eastern, maybe just to see what exactly you missed in terms of logic. But
or you use this connector and go on an adventure. That is certainly a possibility.
yeah.
Mystery small key. At this point, any small key I see, I assume is a Pod small key until I have evidence otherwise.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't found a single GT small either. There's quite a few of those to find.
Very big. Which is wonderful considering where the Tower of Air is.
I mean, that's honestly kind of a reward for being forced to double back to the region, because now you had to anyway.
Yeah. Tempered Sword. Oops.
And yet, choosing not to explore these connectors, going to take the connector at Eastern, which will pay off. This did lead to the Eastern Big, right?
Eventually.
It'll also lead to a lamp, which is less exciting, but we still haven't seen a sign of the fire rod, so could come into play.
Yeah.
Though, yeah, it is just worth noting in general that most likely Leaf is going to be forced into ice before too much longer, just based on what we've seen. So the question is, can treesapthief build up a lead in linear progression before that happens?
True. I think at this point Leaf knows that the answer actually is going to just be Ice Palace.
I think Leaf
might...
doesn't yet know this connector isn't the answer, but we'll know very shortly.
Yeah, but this is like Leaf's last outstanding thing, other than maybe going up and going forward. Possibly just, it's either Sick Kid or Ice Palace for Leaf.
Or Crystal Roller Room, of course.
Crystal Roller Room, yes. Yes. Can't forget Crystal. Can't forget Crystal Roller Room. But yeah, Leaf, I think, is going to put a button on something's in Ice Palace. Possibly the hammer, but...
Though Leaf is choosing to sequence break East Dark World, which honestly makes a lot of sense. We, I think, know that it's not going to be a rewarded decision, but I think this is reasonable.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of value in this particular set of the world right now. like...
For all you know, the item you're skipping is the flippers. And if the flippers are in ice, this is just such a good play.
Yeah. And realistically, like, I mean, we've rolled 2 of the dungeons that require hammer, 2 of the 3 dungeons that hard require hammer as pendants. So it isn't like the hammer is hard required to be the seed today, potentially, only if pod. Like, pod still is out there as a possibility. But...
I mean, there's kind of a reality that
yeah, it's probably going to be
at this point,
but
even if pod is the 3rd pendant, you very likely need the hammer in order to get everything else you need.
Yeah. I think the Thieves Town Big Key is going to be interesting, because I think that might have been in the back of Escape. And that also might be required. But Leaf's going to go do Pyramid, grab the item out of the ledge, and check the 3 entrances up there.
Well, here's another new check for us. Having Cana Samario and finding front of TR, we don't have the fire rod, so this is only 1 check, but this is an in-logic check.
Yes.
Just the Hera map, but, I mean, information is information. I kind of feel like in Hera's the green pendant, so that answers a lot of questions, but honestly, even with Hera being the green pendant, you still probably go back before too long, right?
No. Yeah.
Well, treesapthief does learn that TR is Ether, the 1 medallion he doesn't have. Good to know, I guess?
Yeah. The rare curiosity shop over there, top of the castle. There's Swamp.
Well, there's Swamp, which is not in what I'd call a convenient location, but there it is. So treesapthief choosing to check this way tells me he's not thinking about just doing this loop over and over again.
Yeah.
Though also, treesapthief has the hammer and the Cane of Samaria, so can potentially do quite a bit in this dungeon. Like, I think well, treesapthief didn't, but in general, I think you'd pretty much always want to bomb jump over to the Stalfos room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eastern big, very big deal here, because it's going to lead to those other 2 big keys and a crystal.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess, treesapthief isn't... Well, see, he did pick up the small key. Is he planning to sequence break the right side? That's not so easy here.
I don't know.
Like, it definitely can be done.
Yeah. Usually, like, it's not exactly something I would... you would see a lot of people make a play for, just because it's...
It's hard, and it's easier to do the bomb jumps on the left, and you could just find a fire rod. Yeah. Or the boots, which at least make the trick easier. But, like, I kind of figured this was the plan, because why would you ever have gone and picked up the key first if you weren't planning to do this, right? So this is a good route if you execute it correctly.
Yeah.
But this is, like, legitimately hard. So we'll see how it goes. This is a big moment in the race.
Yep. Second crystal for Leaf. Game has given us 2 red goose so far. We've taken full advantage of both of them.
I mean, look, there's no reward in this game for how many potions you ended with.
No.
Ooh. Now, with Blue Mail, this is still doable, but it's really scary, because if you now cannot get hit by the spike, and you can't take any hits in the rooms for the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Treesapthief can drink the potion.
Yeah.
Or can choose to just take the death with the plan to go over and go to the Stalfos room and give up on this. That's an option too. Or just leave.
That's a lot of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's kind of why that was a big moment in the race, because the reality is that that time can very easily cost you in the long run. Now, Treesapthief, I think, is still on some pretty good routing ideas, but at this point, I mean, it's about to be 3 crystals to 0, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and despite the fact that Leaf doesn't have that dirt sword out of Desert right side, Leaf also has silvers, so landless is basically not an issue. Like, then we'll probably save Inclin and go immediately into Ice Palace to see what exactly is missing ice, because you have 2 other things you could be, but Ice Palace is right next to Save Inclin Point. And the other 2 are up the mountain.
And yeah, like, you could go back into clearing out the pod area, beat Hera and all that, which Leaf doesn't know Hera's there, but probably suspects there might be something there. I guess Hera's the only dungeon Leaf hasn't seen.
Yeah. And Leaf is going to run right into Hera in just a second anyway. It's legitimately...
Oh yeah, just left a portal behind, so we'll find, and I guess we'll not beat Hera here because the big key's in an annoying spot, but
yeah.
We'll probably route things in a way to finish by beating Hera.
I mean, it's kind of an awkward. It's just awkward.
Especially because, like, at this point, Leaf doesn't know Hera's the 3rd pendant.
Yeah.
I mean, Leaf doesn't actually know that Swamp's a pendant either.
Yeah, but I think we're going to get a Hera basement check, which... Given how little is left in the seed, it's not surprising.
Yeah, see, Leaf's of the mindset that they're just skipping flippers, and they're just finding what they swim to. But...
Right.
We know that's not true. I don't know that it's necessarily so bad to be doing all these checks, because, like, at the end of the day, I think it's really likely Treesapthief is going to come and do a lot of the same stuff anyway.
Yeah. And also, mind you, like, Leaf has also done all of Zora region at this point as well. All Eastern Palace. Like... So...
Yeah, if you really just side-by-side compare the 2 players, Treesapthief's entire advantage is pretty much the hammer. Whereas Leaf has done a lot more exploring of the non-hammer lock things and has cleared 3 crystals. Also has both red crystals, so... I mean, the bomb shops in Light World, Leaf could go to the pyramid with the super bomb.
I can't actually make it there quite yet, but, well, could.
I mean,
with
leave
a
your
bomb
mirror
too.
portal behind, walk to the bomb, walk back to your portal.
Yeah, but it's the bomb shop's over in Cax, so that's kind of...
Oh, it's slow, but
it's
you can
slow.
do it.
Yeah. But treesapthief is going to go take care of Mothula now for a crystal finally.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a very free one.
Yeah.
I always like to point out how this is the single easiest bomb jump in A Link to the Past, because it's exactly the same spacing as every other bomb jump, except that wall just gives you an absolutely free lineup.
Yeah. It's basically this one, or like if you're doing the bomb jump to drop down the middle of GT instead of bonking, because that one's only a 1 tile gap, so you have a lot of space for it. But and we'll see where the rest of these entrances and deserts goes, plus the Desert Palace Big Chest.
It's definitely not unthinkable one of these desert connectors could lead to the Mire region.
Yeah. Not sure how much that'll do for us, but yeah. Like, realistically, like, we're starting to run out of a
Blind's
lot
House
of...
is still out there, right?
Yeah, Blind's House is out there. We haven't seen Castle Tower, and it does look like it is at least... Hyrule Castle Small Key is kind of the question mark at the moment, because I'm pretty sure we shouldn't be sleeping on the Hyrule Castles. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have the decent Mickey. I thought he did.
I mean, treesapthief has it because he stole the key.
No, I don't see it on his personal tracker. So probably.
Oh, we're thinking fine. That is Mark in error.
Yeah.
And yeah, that middle desert door was not good news for Leaf. Just led to a boots-locked entrance.
Yeah, gotta go do a little bit of reversing of the crystal room at least. See if he goes all the way up just so he can...
Crystal roller room, but might as well pick up this chest. The chest we've been playing up, and it's $20.
Yeah. I think Leaf's Mirror Portal is still in the overworld in the Eastern Palace region because... Yeah. This is kind of awkward, but hey, you know what? You get to go be Tower of Hera while you're coming back around again.
I mean, that honestly works out pretty well from a routing perspective. We know it's the green pendant, though I don't think we've seen Sahas either, so a little nice to find Sahas with the green pendant already in your bag.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, it's very rare to play a Crosskeys seed where you don't eventually beat Tower of Hera. It's just such a fast dungeon.
Yeah, especially with, like, the prevalence of Herapod. Just having the Pugshot just makes this dungeon beatable in, like, 60 seconds, if that. Oh my god. Well,
worth noting that doesn't change too much. Leaf will use that in order to check Hookshot Cave, but I don't think it does anything else, right? Oh no, you can get into Mire. That's actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's a fourth crystal. That'll be a fourth crystal for Leaf. And here's some of the times that Leaf has already kind of like sank on treesapthief side with Zora.
Moldorm being very cooperative. Jump down while charging a spin, and Moldorm just moves slightly out of the way to let you hit with the spin attack. Moldorm never does that for me.
No. Well, Leaf will now have full pending crystal knowledge. Beating Hera was 100% logically required this seed because we need all of 6 pod stalls to beat Helvesaur King, and well, Wildorm had one.
I mean,
yeah,
the
but
reality is that this is a very rewarding play anyway, both because the hook shot's a great item, but also because, like, at this point, you've checked a lot of the world, and this is only your second pod key. So those kind of are at a premium. And here's Blind's house. I think this was, what, the Village Outcast Hammer house?
I think so, yeah. Oh, God. Ice Pal's a big key.
That is actually incredibly good news for treesapthief.
Yeah. Yeah, it means you're hard required to, if we have to somehow beat Ice Pals, it's a hard logical double dip, or a hard double dip, just a double dip just to get everything out of there anyway.
Yeah, because it means that there's not a scenario where Leaf finds that before being forced into ice.
Yeah.
And yeah, clearing Eastern, very sensible here. We know this is super rewarding. You get 2 important big keys. Oh, our good friend Spiral Cave. Actually a really good spot for it, assuming there's no more connectors down here.
Yeah. Alright. Because I have to imagine, like, when Leaf's next saving clip will be check Dumire, check Hookshot Cave, Dumire, because those are pretty next to each other. And then possibly it'll be time for ice. If this is really nice, this will be the laser bridge entrance, just so Leaf can kind of like get the peace of mind of not having to worry about Sick Kid anymore. And we can do GT. Well,
we can do the tile room chest, and
but how close Leaf is sticking to logic, I kind of feel like it's Meyer
well,
next.
I mean, Leaf broke logic pretty hard.
Well, yeah, I know, but still, like, I feel like you do Meyer because, like, that's at least on the critical path. This is just kind of like you're trying to finish off entrances.
I mean, there's also kind of a difference in knowledge between what treesapthief knew in GT and what Leaf knows. Leaf now has the information to conclude. No matter what, Fire Rod is hard required to beat the seed. Yeah. So, does it feel good to sequence break the Fire Rod?
Let's see. So we're going to go back into GT. Yes, we are going to do... looks like we're going to go to the right side. No? Oh, you know what? Hookshot Cave is on the other side of the mountain from here.
That is a way to get there?
I mean, it's the bottom, it's the old man saving quick point, start point, so... Whether or not this is faster than walking out of Sanctuary and going to the Lost Woods, I think it's about... I think we're really splitting hairs.
Second ice small key, not completely worthless given where we know Hammer is.
Yeah. Lee's just gonna take this and walk it to Meyer.
Yeah, treesapthief now is finished with chores in Eastern Palace. Got all the good stuff out of there, and now has some decisions to make. Probably beating Desert very soon on the itinerary.
And beating GT is yes, beating GT is on behind. Getting to GT is behind them. It's actually. Good one. Didn't want to do that cycle around, I guess. Realistically, like, we're still looking for the Thieves Down Big Key, the Ice Rod, and the Pod Big Forgot Mode.
Also the Fire Rod.
And the Fire Rod.
And while you technically could beat Pod with what you have, it feels extremely likely that in practice you're going to need another Pod Small Key.
Yeah. And we're also essentially out of entrances at this point, so...
Yeah, there's a couple item caves left. Like, I don't believe we've seen Mire Shed, but...
Yeah.
Oh, the big one is Sahas, I suppose. He's a 4-item cave.
Yeah.
There's not a ton left to find.
Yeah, I don't know if treesapthief did Mimic Cave. That was Blade World type cave. But like Castle Tower...
Yeah, that's always a fun cave.
And we haven't seen the Castle Tower entrance yet. The Castle Tower yet, so...
I'm sure both players are very eager to find Castle Tower.
I'm pretty sure Leaf will be happy if boots are somehow here in Mire. Because I think Pseudo Boots is one of the settings that Leaf was really hoping to always have on. Lumberjack is Sanctuary. Right now the only thing there is the cave, which doesn't really do us much.
I suppose, technically, I don't think anyone's seen the other side of Bumper Cave. Though I guess, at this point, treesapthief's the one with the cape, and Leaf has the hook shot. Both could take that connector. Have probably mostly forgotten that connector.
Yeah.
Oh, the book. That's a lovely piece of chores.
It's... Alright, well... There goes Smithbane.
I mean, mitts are just convenient for navigation. That's a very unfortunate death there. I guess that's the price you pay for having already drank both red potions and not having either invincibility item, right?
Yeah, well, at least it's gonna be kind of annoying for... It's kind of annoying, but it won't be the words of the world.
And yeah, it is at least nice to get the mitts and the book together, so when you go to check the Ether Monolith, you can combo it with checking the Turtle Rock entrance. Which Leaf never checked the medallion to get in, but it really doesn't matter when you have all three.
Yeah. Just the roller check for treesapthief.
I mean, there's another entrance we could find. We could find the TR Big Chest.
Yeah, true. And the sooner, like,
I don't feel like we found anything obviously mission critical here in Meyer. Like, the book and the myths could be important, but I think it's quite likely they basically amount to chores.
Yeah. Where was the smith again? The smith was... the smith's kind of in an awkward spot where it's Sanctuary. It's the actual lumberjack house itself. I guess it's not too bad. You just grab the smith, pay quit, and then go. Like, you're ping-ponging between a couple save and quit points.
Yeah, and especially with myths, so you can get back to the Dark World via Village Outcast really quickly.
Yeah. Looks like treesapthief is trying to make sure that there's nothing in... is hoping for nothing in upstairs Meyer, which... Or upstairs Hera.
Or is just taking this convenient shortcut back to Hera. I mean, just... when you come out of the pyramid like this, you just go do it, right?
Yeah. Or you go back to Desert Palace and take the last entrance. It's another crystal? That is 4 crystals down? No, that's 5. Is that, that's 5 crystals for leave. No, 4, sorry.
Yep, 4 crystals and 1 green pendant. And at this point, you kind of have to be suspecting that something really good is an Ice Palace, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not the... Either it's not the flippers you're skipping, or if it is the flippers you're skipping, it's because there's progression in Swamp, is what you have to think from Leaf's point of information.
Yeah. That third sword in Desert Palace is going to be kind of an issue for Leaf for a while, but we'll see how exactly that's going to play out. Like, it's not going to play out super much until the Ganon fight at this point in the siege, just because Silvers will kind of like negotiate.
Ooh, that's a risky place to hook shot there. This is a much harder bomb jump than just doing it the other way.
What is that lumberjack? That's an older comment, sorry.
Leaf having a little more trouble with Icebreaker than treesapthief did. I'm not gonna lie, I probably would not be able to do this trick with the Sylveon sprite.
Yeah, there we go. Gonna be Hookshot Cave, and then I have to imagine Meyer for treesapthief. And then we'll see where we are, because we're going to be getting close to parity at this point.
So here's the interesting question. What is the next play that advances them collectively?
I mean, it's got to be... I mean, our options are basically limited to Spit Chain with chasing the mitts, or potentially going back up into GT and doing the left side.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, left side GT is just the obvious answer, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Because, like, what we really need are just a bunch of items. And if there's one place that has a bunch of items, it's Ganon's Tower, right? Though it's very interesting that we're at 0 small keys for GT still.
Yeah.
The most interesting part about that is treesapthief has opened that door to the right side, but not cleared the right side to get the key back. So you can actually get stuck doing left side GT in this exact scenario.
Yeah, but if we are going to see any progression, it would have to be in essentially Stalfos room. Because everything else is going to require small keys. Yeah,
adhere to logic, but it isn't. It's an entirely plausible scenario. There's multiple pieces of progression in there, and a double dip could be on its way because of it.
Yeah. Leaf's just going to go ahead and beat Cold Stare.
Yeah, at this point you're leaving behind 2 checks in here. One of them is very slow to go back for, and the other you actually can't do.
Yeah. I kind of imagine what also Leaf will probably do is just save quit the old man. Looks like it'll actually be treesapthief is going to be the first one to make the left side GT play.
Worth noting, we know where Ice Big Key is, so from our perspective as viewers, defeating Cold Stare could be the answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fight's pretty annoying with Leaf's loadout.
Yeah, this would actually be a fight where having Tempered would be a little nicer. But we got one bot down, which means the other 2 are going to follow soon.
So the only progression in this Stalfos room, which is the only part of this that is not key locked, was a pod small key. That is fascinating. Especially because that's pod small key number 3.
Yeah.
Now there are some ugly places pod small key number 4 could be. Like it could just... You could have pod small key number 4 just sitting in the ice big chest, right?
Yeah. So where's Leaf gonna head now? Is this gonna be a play to do?
But yeah, unless this is specifically a GT small key in this chest, which would be the biggest bailout of all time, this is a real bad feeling for treesapthief. You are leaving behind 8 items.
Yeah. That leaves about to find Flying Set here.
And we'll probably be looking to start Smith Chain and check the Hammer Pegs entrance.
Yeah.
The Ice Big Key at this point is just comical. Like, obviously you don't actually go back and do that, but
no.
You laugh about it. And yeah, treesapthief clearing out Mire. Not going to get a lot to show for it, but it's a crystal. There's really very little justification to not make this play.
I like Leaf's play here because, let's see, okay. Is this going to be the play into GT, I guess? I have to imagine with starting at Sync, it's going to be the GT play.
I really don't see how you don't bring Smith with you to do this.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're walking right by it anyway. Even if you're not going to finish the Smith chain, why not just turn in the Blacksmith and then go to GT?
I think the part of it is that turning the blacksmith is literally the freest thing in the seed because it's literally right outside of your two non-Link's house saving points. So, like
Yeah, I
starting
mean,
and
it's just you
finishing
were
it.
so close to picking him up there, and now you kind of
Yeah,
aren't.
yeah. I am kind of surprised Leaf isn't. I guess Ether Tablet doesn't exist. Ether Tablet's slow.
But yeah, it would be very tempting to go check the TR entrance, and then jump down here, right?
Yeah. Oh, realistically, like you're not looking for.
I mean, you have the green pendant, and you haven't seen Sahas yet. I'd
True.
definitely be thinking about it. Like, I won't be too critical about rushing into GT because, I mean, Leaf knows they're getting 12 items here. Now, only these first 4 are in Logic. But Logic's Schmogic, right?
Yeah, we're kind of at the point where it's like we're missing a whole bunch of pod small keys, essentially.
But yeah, this is a pretty big moment in the race here too, because what are the items that we're about to find in the deeper parts of left side GT? Because I think it's very likely one of them is required to beat the seed, just based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
But of course, there's the other side of it. Like, if the GT big chest is critical, this actually does work in treesapthief's favor.
Well, moment of truth.
Well, that's hard required to beat the game.
And actually, you know, what Leaf might do is take this, drop down to... Actually, you know what I think Leaf is inevitably going to do is just skip that side of the mountain climb and just go to it from the west side. Go east to west, sorry. Because you can just do the TR entrance, TR front was up there, and then you walk over to check Ether Tablet.
Worth noting, in a world where we haven't found any GT small keys, you look at this area in the back as likely to be more immediately useful than the area on the way, because this is only 3 key locked instead of 4. Well, we got an ice rod, which, I mean, you needed the ice rod. I would say, though, that if you're on Team treesapthief, you're probably pretty happy with what left side GT ended up having. Because you're kind of doing the math that it's not unlikely that more work in GT will be required before the end of the seed.
Hard to say. There's a chance. But also, we're now down to 2 big keys in the fire rod. Well, if it's the fire rod that's required last, then I need to do right side at all.
Just given the percentage of the world we've cleared, though, you also kind of have to figure that the odds are not bad that we're going to need the flippers to go into Swamp as well.
True. And that is another crystal down for treesapthief. That is number 4 as well.
That is dungeon clearing parity.
Yeah. Well, Leaf has been called Seer. Required dungeon clearing.
Relevant dungeon clearing parity.
Yes.
Probably. I mean, who knows? Maybe the fire rod's on the pedestal.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it could be. And I don't mean that like in a haha funny way. I mean that in a legitimately like.
I mean, if you're Leaf in this position, you look at like, okay, if I find flippers, it opens 11 checks.
Yeah.
10 from Peating Swamp and an 11th on the ped. So we are going to get a couple new checks over on Treesap's side. We're going to get the Hammer Peg entrance, and we are going to turn in the Smith. Whereas we're getting another new check from Leaf in the form of Ether. Well, that's a big key. A very well-placed big key, too. Now, you don't have the small keys, so you're going to orphan a chest, but there's just no way you worry about that here. You go in and you beat thieves.
Half Magic is sitting at the library at Hammer Pegs, which is sad. If you had the boots going there, you'd probably grab it, but if not, well.
Yeah, you mostly look at Half Magic as the world's nicest junk item.
Yeah.
Well, Smith wasn't important. Purple chest still at large. But you gotta figure if Purple Chest was the next thing treesapthief wanted to do, he probably wouldn't have checked pegs with Smith behind him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an awkward bit of sequencing. Maybe he's gonna take the powder over and do check the powder and the mushroom now. Or where is he going?
I'm not gonna lie, it looks like he's going back for Purple Chest anyway.
Yeah. I mean...
But, like, the world's relatively thin, especially in Logic. Like, in Thieves Town, the only thing in Logic is Blind Cell. Nothing in Pod is in Logic. Even though I would be sorely tempted to go to Pod from either player's point of view.
Yeah. I missed what was in the, I had a bit of a stream hiccup, so I missed what was in the upper portion of the attic of Thieves Town. Did you happen to catch it?
I didn't see... I saw what it was, but I immediately forgot, so I'm assuming it wasn't important. I know that sounds kind of silly, but you know how you do it. When you see a junk item, how quickly does it leave your mind?
It was the pod map, yeah. Mambo's tablet for G70, I'm assuming, which is a really weird way to... I'm going to guess an audible has been made here, because this is not how you'd normally get here, normally.
Well, you're doing this route because you want to... You have the purple chest as a phantom follower.
Okay, I missed that, yeah. Yeah, never mind.
The best thing I can say about the contents of the purple chest is it has an easily quantifiable value. And yet, checking the desert main entrance, pretty natural route here.
Yeah.
And yeah, really nothing going on in Thieves Town other than just picking up a crystal, but that can be enough.
Yep. I mean,
Personally, what I do here if I'm Leaf is I go back to pod, check the 3 chests in the back, and well, 5 chests because you do the bomb jump, and just see if that bails you out of the situation. Because it's possible the seed cascades very quickly from that play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the decision-making with the Smith makes a lot more sense when you factor in the location of the mountain cave.
Yeah, it's if you're kind of like going into the dark world, you might as well do this.
And yeah, we know this chain isn't too rewarding, but I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, treesapthief definitely has the mets in the book, and I think that's it. I think that's the only thing he's missing. The sewers key was in.
I think that was deeper in GT, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not really that consequential because treesapthief, whether he has it or not, is never going back for Zelda's cell, unless it's the last location in the world, which we know it never will be.
Yeah.
And Leaf could make that play, which would actually just be a pure time loss. Leaf making the bold decision to get the last 2 checks in ice. I mean, this very well could be important.
I mean, at this point for Leaf, it's these 2 checks, purple chest, a couple entrances, and all the entrances are all going to kind of loop on each other. So I think this is just.
To me, it's hard not to go to pod here. Because it's 5 items, you don't have to put yourself in a tricky spot with keys, and like, I know it's out of logic. What are the odds you just get the 4th pod key here, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if Leaf is kind of thinking about that right now. Dueling maps and compasses on both sides of them. But
yeah, just as I mentioned that play, treesapthief is in pod. The 4 item locked chests were not consequential. So you can obviously do this bomb jump. It's very much in the skill set of just about every competitive runner. But all these items are logically 6 small key locked, and we only have 3.
oh.
Skullwood's big key, more chores.
Well, you don't feel too bad about this route now because you're going to have to go past. You have to go all the way up into. If you're going all the way up into Skullwood, you're going right by pod. And there's the boots.
That is fascinating. So, like, honestly, I think the main thing you almost have to assume is all the boots entrances are bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of a tragedy here because from treesapthief's perspective, it's a lot better to check these because the ice rod can be anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you do get the secondary benefit that the boots let you run, though I don't know that at this point in the seed it's going to be as time-saving as people tend to think.
Yeah. It's definitely something that the earlier you are to the boots, the better off you are. But alright, Leaf gonna finish this off, and then I guess we'll probably end up going into pod after this.
I mean, I know in this seed at, 149 when the boots were found, if you ask me, you can get 1 convenience item. Do you want the boots or the flute? I'm taking the flute every time.
I mean, the flute doesn't even do us much good anyway. It's just, right now it's like, Saha, and that's Saha.
Yeah, now we've rolled out Mimic Cave. Tree Sap Thief coming back in here. Going to get one more check out of it, but it's not going to really be that consequential. Well, unless it's a ped seed, then it's important.
Yeah. I think this will also be... At this point, you also have to commit to killing Cold Stare.
Oh, but there's no way you go to the ice big chest and don't kill Cold Stare. That would be an unhinged play.
Yeah.
It will probably be a considerably faster Cold Stare fight than Leaf had.
True. Mind you, at the same time, right now, Leaf also has a full left side GT clear, which isn't... It's still going to be at least... You have to at least give Lorraine room.
Yeah, and the purple chest is visiting the Bombos monolith, which is... I mean, you don't see it every day.
No.
I don't actually know... Like, I'm pretty sure this is slower, but given the saved mirror transitions, it might not be much slower. It's probably really close. I guess the real pain is that you're ending by going back to the desert main entrance, so you're invoking this transition in extra time.
Yeah. But we're looking
that
for
vulture got in Leaf's way more than I think I've ever seen that vulture get in any player's way. Like, most of the time you can just ignore it and it just doesn't ever hit you.
He's starting in Link's house.
Has either player actually turned in the mushroom yet?
No, or checked the powder. No. Those two fetch quests are still outstanding. Leaf is going back over to... I guess this is going to be right side desert, which will be a sword and nothing.
I mean, Leaf doesn't have the desert small key, right?
No, Leaf does. That was in... Yeah, Leaf is missing the desert small. That was in Ice Palace map chest. Right now, treesapthief still needs to do get to Ether Tablet and still has to do GT.
Though, honestly, at this point, I think it works in treesapthief's favor to continue clearing other things, because we know those are both going to be dead ends that could have more value behind them if you find more stuff first. Like, you know, you find the Thief's Small Key, there's an extra check there. You find the Fire Rod or GT Big Key, you can do more in GT, right?
Yeah, true.
Though, I mean, treesapthief actually cannot go back to GT right now. GT is dead to treesapthief until a small key shows up.
True.
Unless treesapthief wants to try to do the right side skip again.
And even then, needs to have a small key. Well, once you get past,
open, so
yeah,
could actually get a lot out of GT by getting the 4 checks in Compass Room, getting the pot key, and just proceeding from there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Spike Cave. We haven't seen Spike Cave.
I mean, look, just do it because you need to go to the potion shop anyway. Spend everything, who cares?
I wonder if this will be Leaf taking the shot for potion shop and Magic Bat. Yeah, it is.
I don't understand backtracking out of Spike Cave here. like, surely it's faster to just save and quit and take the Dark World portal again if that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah. Or, like, old man. Oh, yeah, especially if, like, you were going to go open this up to go into Desert Palace.
Well, there's the Fire Rod. So, the immediate play for Leaf surely is going and fighting Trinex.
Yeah.
You beat Trinex and you get the 2 checks that are Fire Rod locked in the front of TR. If any of those happen to give you the pod big key, then fantastic, you just win the race. And even if not, there's other vectors to value there. GT small for treesapthief behind the boots. That's good because that's necessary.
Yeah.
At this point, we are just hunting for the pod big key.
Yeah.
And there's not so many places it can be. The main thing that both players have to be thinking about is the fact that Swamp Palace represents 11 items at this point, and the flippers are still at large.
Yeah. Also, so those boots are 6 pod key locked, which means the Ice Rod is now 6 key and 4 key GT locked. Which means there's a lot of our value in Ice might just be... Swamp might just be small keys.
I mean, kind of the good news about that is it makes it mathematically extremely unlikely these 3 checks in TR have the flippers.
Yeah.
And from Leaf's perspective, that's actually great.
Yeah.
Because you would much prefer to just get the pod big key here. And there's really nothing that prevents the pod big key from being in these checks.
Yeah, we're probably not touching Swamp until it's 100% required.
I mean, if the flippers show up, I'd probably go right there. You obviously aren't going in when you can't.
True. Leaf having finally having a fight where they can use Tempered Sword on a boss. Much more enjoyable.
And yeah, this is treesapthief about to get the Thieves Town big key. Will probably beat blind here. Not going to get anything other than a crystal out of that play.
Yeah.
The other Castle Tower small key. Well, it had to be somewhere.
All Castle Tower keys on required bosses seed.
Now, I don't believe Leaf has actually gone back for the back of Escape ever since finding the Hyrule Castle small key. That's kind of... Well, I mean, it doesn't even tell you anything about that. Actually, that just tells you nothing is what that tells you.
Yeah. And I suspect we're probably going to pull a pod. It feels like we're either going to pull a pod key or flippers out of these 2 checks here.
I mean, we're actually pretty sure flippers aren't here, right? Because what are the odds that none of the pod small keys are in Swamp?
True. Actually, that's true. Okay.
Wait, there's a pod key there.
No,
but
Fire
you don't
Rod...
need to beat Trinex for that. You just needed the Fire Rod behind the mushroom for that.
Yeah, that's basically sitting free. So this, I think, is going to be Leaf heading for pod. And Forky's going to try to do as much of pod as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very sensible play. Going to find the boots and probably nothing else, but will check Harmless Hellway, so it'll be 1 extra check.
Yeah.
Could choose to check the pod big key chest instead. It would be a non-standard play, but you sometimes see people do it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it, considering that, I mean, it isn't the fastest thing in the world.
Or it is, in fact, going to check Skullwood's big chest and the Skullwood's back entrance. I mean, these are both valid, and Sahas is still out there, so entrances are not so bad to be checking.
There's a 4-item cave plus.
Well, now you pretty much know you can get to that 4-item cave wherever it is.
Yeah.
And I guess you can check Ped while you're here, but I don't know if it even makes sense to do. If you beat Swamp, you'll pull Ped. If you don't have to beat Swamp, which is quite likely, then you never care what's on Ped.
Yeah. I have to imagine it'll be a mirror anyway, just to walk out to activate the flute. But,
or just save and quit to get there faster, right?
Yeah.
And a whole $20.
Yeah. So we are still missing Agater, we're still missing Saha. It's kind of it. And Turtle Rock Big, so like there's still like 6 items.
There might be a random single item cave I'm not thinking of. It's not going to be one of the interesting ones.
No.
A little disagreement with the Dead Rocks. Pivoting to going into GT, this will lead to the Ice Rod. Though it feels kind of bad to have not turned in Mushroom at this point. Having Fire Rod would be very nice for treesapthief here, because right side GT is certainly a place the Pod Pig could be.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. We're gonna have 4 entrances here in the Maya region. We've seen all the mirror lock stuff by other means, via connectors.
The Maya region is absolutely horrifying with this palette.
Yeah. It's like pools of blood. A giant pool of blood.
Well, we just tried 2 medallions for good measure.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy to just kind of laugh at those little mishaps, but you're 203 in the seed, and you're getting on last locationing. No one feels great in this scenario.
Yeah.
And like, you especially have that moment, great, now I just used a medallion for no reason. It can kind of get in your head a bit. And there's the flippers. I mean, you're going to check the other 2 entrances here, but surely you just have to go to Swamp with those, right?
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I would like to see is maybe the GT Big Key.
Though I guess Leaf hasn't made the play back into Pod, so...
Yeah.
Like, it's tempting, right? Just go to Pod and see if it works. Honestly, probably in a vacuum the better play. We know that most likely going to Swamp is what's required, but Leaf doesn't know that. It's also possible that the answer is just in GT and all the rest of this is just for keys.
There's a Hyrule Castle small key, 3 GT small locked. Well, that's it. We have hit all of our major item entrances that we need to know about.
I think between 2 players, the only entrances on the overworld that we haven't been in are the Ice Palace and the GT entrances.
Yes. Zelda Cell for treesapthief.
This is a wild play to me. like, I feel like you almost have to just commit to it. Once you've stolen the key from the boomerang guard, like, this chest doesn't exist until it's the last location in the world, right?
Yeah.
Now, I almost worry about, has Treesapthief just forgotten some of the fetch quests?
Possibly.
Because, yeah, like, even the meta reason you wouldn't want to do this, just in terms of checks per minute, both Mushroom and Powder are much faster to check than this.
Yeah. Especially considering he was, like, over there doing Bonk Rocks and Kings 2. Alright.
We're going to learn what's in Harmless Hellway. This is one more check we haven't seen. If it happens to be Pod Big, that ends the game right there. But it's 3 bombs, which is not what I'd call surprising.
No. Treesapthief just gonna go pick up half magic just because. Not that I really blame you.
Though, given that you just got a second bottle, you could have 2 blue potions when you go to turn in the mushroom, which would be faster than doing this, and are you going to really use more magic than that? I have a feeling that finding the boots there at this point, given that you could have just gone in here out of logic, has to be tilting.
Yeah, especially Leaf. Interesting.
Leaf's going to read the pedestal.
I don't think this is pedestal. I think this is going to do right side GT. No? Alright. I mean, you have the...
I really, like... I understand emotionally making this play, but I feel like you gotta just do Swamp and then check this if it's nothing. Because then if it's... Because, like, they're going to Swamp anyway, so... I mean, I guess the advantage is if that happened to be the answer, then you don't do left side, but... It just doesn't feel like the right approach.
Yeah. Alright, well, time for Swamp.
Now, the good news for Leaf... I actually think Leaf's position has kind of quietly grown to be kind of commanding here, because Treesapthief's going to go clear out the Mire region and just... Well, probably. I think it's kind of primed to follow in a lot of footsteps.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the answer is probably Swamp Palace, or else it's going to be a small key that you need to get in Swamp Palace. So, if it's not Swamp Palace, and just everything else is just going to kind of, like... Leaf's just ahead on linear progress, and everything else up. There's not really anything... like...
I mean, really the only play Treesapthief could make, I think, to be disruptive here would be going back to right side GT, and the Pod Big just happens to be there.
Yeah. And yeah, here comes the bad news about the Fire Rod. But also, I think you're like, the Fire Rod being here disincentivizes you from chasing right side GT, because you could have had this so long ago.
I mean, your immediate play is obviously to kill Trinex because you have to.
Yeah. That's true, and that does also dump you out near GT, so...
Leaf eating the minor time loss of checking the swamp big chest early, just in the off chance it happens to be the mirror trip out of here.
Yeah.
You remember back in the day watching races of this game, and the big thing was people flooding the key when they didn't want to?
Yeah. I remember when people were like, wow, look at this brand new tech called Diver Down.
Like, I just remember watching so many races where people did left side swamp in this order, and then it was, oh no, I have to mirror out and redo it so I can get the key.
Yeah. 6 crystals for treesapthief, second guess tower key.
Gonna get the 4th pod small. Will probably not feel great about it.
No.
So the funny thing is, getting the 4th pod small here, if you go back to pod, you totally check the vanilla big key chest and not Hellway. Which
True.
is a funny way that it creates an out, is what it does.
Yeah.
And in terms of clearing, sort of a good metric I always like to use if I just kind of glance at a race is just look at the differences in the heart meters, right?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get a good against.
If Swamp is dead, there's extremely little that Leaf could still do.
Yeah, realistically, like right now, we have to see where is treesapthief gonna go? Are they gonna drop down and do GT? Are they going to maybe
It's like
go
the TR entrance, which we've already seen, but treesapthief is not.
Yeah.
Like, I can't blame him for this play. This is... It would be a very strange decision to leave it behind here.
That's our 5th spot spawn in the waterfall chest.
Which basically means that if Leaf's in the area pod, you check the vanilla big key chest to see if there's a fully vanilla big key.
Yeah. It looks like treesapthief is going to make the play for the Maya region, so I think this is going to be it. I think really, realistically, like treesapthief had the major out is going to be right side GT, and I don't think that's going to happen.
So I'll say, if it doesn't drop off Cold Stare here in specific, and it didn't, Leaf feels like they've lost.
Yeah.
I just promise that Leaf is convinced this is a lost race. Because, like, if you look at this seed from Leaf's perspective, like, every little thing on the routing just didn't go right. Like, sequential near last location. And yeah, now you're checking the boots entrances. Or, oh, you're getting this key on the torch. This is, I think it's a third GT small key, right?
It'll be, yeah. I think you make a play for GT. In all honesty. Is Leaf still hasn't seen? I guess Leaf still hasn't seen Spike Cave, but I don't know how much you want to push for Spike Cave. Oh, this might be.
What does the logic actually want here, you know? Because we only have 3 GT smalls, 5 pod smalls. Nothing in GT or pod is in logic right now.
No. There was another pod. There was a small key on the island here. This is almost certainly going to be pod 6. It's either pod 6 or GT4. No, Skullwoods.
Okay, so apparently Leaf does have all 4 GT smalls.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I didn't know where GT was on Leaf's personal tracker.
Yeah.
But okay, then in that case, right side GT is fully in logic.
Yeah.
And that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. I think this might be going for Dark. This is going to be the back of It's going to be back of Sync for a Leaf, which makes sense. It's 3 checks. I mean, you got boots for it. It's not the worst check in the world.
So the funny thing is, there is still a world where treesapthief just goes to GT first and gets bailed out.
Yeah. I think. Oh, treesapthief never came over here because of the getting spat out of Desert Palace. So it's going to find Spiral here. And could be going back to GT.
I mean, at this point we
yeah.
know GT's the answer. And Leaf has so many fewer options other than GT left. But
yeah,
it is the case that whichever goes there first will just win.
Yeah.
I mean, there is sequential nonsense that could happen.
Like if it's really just pod 6 and GT the right side, that's 4. If that's even possible.
It could also be like GT big and the last chest in the climb at GT has the pod big, and well, that would be a big problem if you don't have enough GT smalls, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or it could be in the GT map chest, which I think treesapthief still does not have enough small keys to check.
Yeah, we still haven't. Yeah.
Well, actually, no, it'd be fine because you're going to get the pot key from doing right side.
Yeah, Leaf never did do GT map chest either, so that's an out. That's missing between the 2 runners as well.
I mean, I guess it's not so much an out in the sense that they both can do it, but treesapthief is back here first. Yeah. So what is on either GT right side or that one remaining chest? Or alternatively, Leaf is checking the one remaining check here in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, this is going to probably be it.
And that is the Thieves Town small key, which, hilariously enough, could be the answer. Like, it probably is here in GT, but it could be that.
Yeah.
And okay, so you pick up this small key and you mirror back and you check the map chest, right? And then you continue and you check the big chest.
And then you climb.
You climb. Like, if you're treesapthief, you have to commit to GT at this point.
Yeah.
Because there is a world where treesapthief gets discouraged and leaves, and that's the world where treesapthief loses this race.
Yeah, I would argue against it because, like, if your next protocol is doing something is anything, it's going to be doing Swamp Palace. And the best way to get to Swamp Palace at this point is just climbing GT.
Okay, choosing to leave behind the big chest and go straight for the climb. What does beating Aga 2 lead to?
It is an item.
Okay, so that is actually leaving it behind. Because if it was nothing, there's always the decision point that you climb and then you mirror and check the big chest last. Which is probably higher EV, but you have to beat Aga 2 here. So you're betting against big chest, which, I mean, it's pretty justifiable, honestly.
Yeah.
And Leaf, the thing is, the difference is because Leaf has, well, I guess it doesn't really matter because 3 keys was the same, you're never opening the middle door anyway. Leaf with this routing will probably do full right side, right?
Yeah. And at this point, I think it gets to be Leaf's out. Like, if anything, Leaf's out. Now it's kind of turned where Leaf's out's going to probably be some big chest. Because you're doing you're going to do
or
all
GT
of
big chest. That is also an out.
GT big chest, yeah. But it's not a GT big chest.
Now, it's worth noting that as far as I can even think, there's only 7 items left in the world between both players. You know, the 5 from the climb, GT big chest, and Thieves' Town big chest. And given treesapthief's advantage in progression up the tower, like, well, there goes one of the outs right there. I was going to say it's a 2 out of 7 versus a 5 out of 7 for who wins the race, but I mean, I guess Leaf still probably wins if it's in GT big chest realistically.
Yeah. Because Leaf still has all of Swamp done. And we'll just get there faster.
Now, I will also throw out there that if you compare the way the 2 runners have been playing up to this point, I would argue Leaf has the stronger execution between these 2. treesapthief's lead is not uncatchable on raw execution. I think treesapthief is favored, but it's not impossible.
I'd agree. Also, a lot of the overworld routing, Leaf's been a lot more efficient and caught a lot more time on that.
I'm just saying there is a world where it really is an upstairs GT or behind Aga 2 and Leaf can catch up. Though I think in those scenarios you have to favor treesapthief.
Yeah. I mean, so when we're in the discussion of Thieves' Town versus Swamp Palace, treesapthief can't do Thieves' Town. Leaf has already done Swamp Palace.
Yeah, we're kind of at the point where I don't actually feel like there's really interesting decision-making left in the seed. Both runners will just do what they can do at this point, and where the key is will determine what happens.
Yeah.
There's the 6 pod small. Doesn't change anything, but we have it.
There's almost like a sword.
I mean, that could easily be on, like, the pod big chest, too.
True. Oh, boy!
Well, we are fighting Aga 2, which is good news for Leaf, if for nothing else but the fact that that fight is really high variance and how long it takes.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about how it was 5v2 out of 7. Now it's 2v1 out of 3 for Leaf.
Yeah, because I think it's extremely unlikely treesapthief goes back for those other 2 chests. Like, he can, but it's just a hard call to make, you know?
Yeah. I guess also technically, I don't think Leaf has seen Spike Cave as well, so there is Spike Cave, but
I mean,
But by the time,
Thief has to. If it's not here, I mean, if it's here, that obviously gives a very easy path. But if not, Treesap Thief's only real hope would be to make the decision that I would have already lost if it's in Swamp, no matter what. I'm never going to Swamp. Which, I mean, that's just such a hard call to make when you start getting this thin, right?
Yeah, when you're down to legitimately 12, maybe like 12 item slots and 11 other ones. And he doesn't even know where I don't think he has even found the Feast on Small Key anyway. Because that was in the Pod Big chest. Pod Picky chest. So like, it's not even like an option, he has to go into Swamp.
Worth noting, in terms of this raw foot race up GT, I do think Leaf gained about a room, just over the course of it.
Yeah. Alright, moment of truth.
It's another small key, the last TR small. Okay, so, first off, welcome to Crosskeys. This seat is great, but at this point, Treesap Thief has to make a really big call to stay in this race. Because the answer is something horrible.
So that was a really nice triple relief there at the start.
I mean, that was overall actually just an excellent Aga 2 fight.
Yeah. Pretty much not a wasted shot, so.
And yeah, Treesap checking the Vanilla Ice Palace entrance. Probably could have known it was nothing, but like... I mean, I'm gonna be real, I don't count those either.
I mean, I've got a checklist, and so, yeah. Alright, maybe this will
if you're Leaf, I assume you go back to Thieves Town here.
Thieves Town, GT,
and then set your controller down and stare at the screen if you still don't have it, because it's... Well, I guess you have Spike Cave, too.
Yeah. We're in... Did I miss... I hope we're not in Did I miss something mode.
I mean, it looks like Treesap Thief is going to check the Skull Woods entrance.
Yeah.
And... Which was an item cave, I believe.
Oh, you're right. It was Ice Heart Cave, so... Yeah.
Yeah, and Leaf's going back for the Steve's Big Chest, which... I mean, that means that they haven't lost track of not having done it yet.
I mean, they've got a solo one in all the dungeon, in every dungeon that isn't GT or Pod on their tracker, so...
I mean, imagine just the feeling when it really is GT Big Chest.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's a coin flip from what we know, right?
Yeah.
Also, and you mentioned where's the last sword. My question is, where's the bug net?
Oh, we saw the bug net. The bug net's on Race Game.
Oh, we actually saw it. I just forgot about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
no,
it has to be somewhere. You don't care to find it, but it has to be somewhere.
I mean, it's even better. We saw it and we cared not to pick it up.
Well, I know they both pieced the race game, so you'd have to go like extra out of your way to pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, here, this will be the
please be in GT Big Chest. It would be so funny.
Oh boy, here we go. Maximum emotional damage.
And okay, so Leaf has 19.25 hearts. We saw a piece of heart on top of Spectacle Rock. Do we have knowledge of where the other two pieces of heart are?
One might be in Spike Cave, for all I know. You know what would be a really funny thing that you could get someone to do this seed? Have them
Ask
play
them
it in
if it's a good seed a half an hour in when it looked like a great seed.
Tell them to play it in Logic.
In all honesty, that would help you.
Probably.
Because the biggest thing it would do, well, I mean, it'd save you the double dip in Thieves Town. That's at a minimum, right?
True.
It would prevent you from missing the hammer for as long as Leaf missed the hammer.
True.
It would prevent things like that early game exploration of Paradox Cave that led to absolutely nothing. I mean, this seed actually was almost designed to say, oh, you know sequence breaks? Let's punish you for that.
Yeah. And at 2:31:53, Leaf is in go mode. And
Actual last location of the go mode item.
And treesapthief actually never found the dam, apparently. Until now. So he's gonna go get some Swamp Compass.
Yeah, treesapthief probably was just hoping that something horrible happened to Leaf, even, which it kind of did, but
They
at this point
both
it's
played the
GG.
seed. Yeah, I mean, they both played the seed. Something horrible did happen.
And yeah, the gold sword is either in the big chest or Helmsar King's going to give it to us. But yeah, I mean, at this point, both players certainly have to be in the "how is my opponent not finished yet" mode.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're Leaf, like, you know leaving GT Big Chest behind there was disastrous. You know the seed wasn't really going well otherwise. You just had so many effect last or near last locations. Whereas your treesapthief, you're like, oh no, I didn't find the dam, and it's just in swamp, and what's even happened here, right?
Yeah. I mean, logically, you were essentially almost required to beat almost every single pendant boss anyway. So it was very easy to get sucked into all the pendants. But
I mean, you actually had no reason to ever go into swamp as it worked out.
yeah.
I mean, it's a hard play to resist, but this dungeon was full of garbage.
Yeah. And that is all 7 crystals for Leaf at 235. They just need to dash up into the Lost Woods here to go beat Ganon. And does not have Gold Sword, which is in the pot big chest. Yay!
Well, surely Ganon's a dark type, so that should work pretty well for the Sylveon. The play the seed and logic thing would force you to go into swamp for that pod and small key.
Yes. And the GT Swamp. On Arcus. Or wherever the GT Small is. Having a little trouble in Phase 3, the Fire Bats got out on the first hit.
I mean, I like to call those red mail strats. It didn't really cost time, it just cost health, and you have that in abundance.
I mean, they still have to spawn. But yeah. Gets a nice hit. Not gonna be able to get a triple, but might be able to set up for a double.
I mean, I'm gonna be real about it. I think Leaf's lead is like 3 cannonballs at least, so...
Yeah.
That race was certainly dramatic. We have to give it that.
Yes. Everyone, please get your GGs in chat for Leaf finishing an official race time of 2:36.57, winning the first game of Swiss.
And Treesap's playing on a bit. Probably going to be shocked that the answer was in fact not in Swamp at all. It looks like we're going to be joined by Leaf shortly. I don't know if they're going to want to celebrate or mourn after playing this seed. So, Leaf, congrats on winning, and I'm sorry you had to play that.
I'm still debating on if I need to put my comment for the post race as help received or send help.
So, like, oh my word, like, the last location, Hammer, I mean, the pod big was obviously just peak drama. Like, I actually feel like the escape the early game light world was really rough. Like, the seed was not kind.
That I knew something had to be in ice. I was playing aggressively on the chance I could find very specifically the hammer or the ice big before I went in. So I was playing aggressively ahead of the logic. Because I knew
I mean, it was so likely it was just the flippers in there to reach East Dark World, right?
I was expecting any of Boots, Flippers, Hammer, or Myth up until I went in the mire.
Yeah.
So, like, I knew I was breaking logic doing that because, frankly, there was nothing left.
Yeah, other than, like, Crystal
there were
Alert,
so many just funny little things in this seed where both of you really did things out of logic that were objectively good plays that just didn't pay off. The seed set the tone early with Paradox Cave, which, you know, it's relatively trivial to break in, and you really need connectors, and you really need items, and it's 7 junk items and 2 connectors to nowhere.
Paradox was funny. I appreciated that de-isolated the island at that point for me. because I would have probably made my way over there to try and check that before going through Hookshot Cave to... Excuse me, not even through Hookshot Cave. Or was it through Hookshot Cave at that point left? Yeah, it was Hookshot Cave. That tells you how long the scene was. I can't remember it all, and I'll tell you, I'm usually pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so the story of this race as a whole is... It was generally, treesapthief was doing a bit more of an aggressive job pushing forward in the seed, whereas you ended up being more thorough, I think often involuntarily. But the way that sort of played out is, as you started to approach the very end game, and, you know, just how horrible the seed was became evident, the fact was you just cleared a lot more. Then we had the big moment, we were pretty sure the answer is GT, treesapthief just made the call to go there first, and would you believe you were a little behind, and you both skip big chest?
I will almost... Especially when it's easy to get to, I'm never going back to big chest before climbing there. I would like to shout out the fact that that climb was completely and 100% logically required.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that that climb was completely and 100% logically blocking your boots. And for that, I would like to... not recommend this one get played in Logic, ever. So, friend, if you're listening,
if you played it in Logic, it would help with some things and hurt with others. Having to clear out swamp and climb for nothing hard required would feel a little bad. You might get the hammer faster.
I'm not sure the hammer would have helped.
Yeah.
This seed was a travesty of Logic. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, props to treesapthief for playing this one through right now, because this is a marathon of a seed. No matter how we play it. Because, like, at the point I found the big key, I had one check left in my mind.
Spike
and it was
Cave,
whichever
right?
of the two entrances was Spike Cave.
That was literally your last check in the world. Like, when you opened the chest, before you opened it, we knew what was in it.
So where was Spike Cave?
Darkling Spunk Rocks.
Yeah, I had left that and the Pyramid Fairy entrance.
The Pyramid Fairy entrance was a connector exit.
Yeah, that was the other side of Bumper Cave. It was the other side of Bumper Cave.
Oh, okay. I never took that connector because I got caved at about 7 years late into the seed.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be helpful.
Yeah, treesapthief stole the key. Went back, unfortunately. But also...
Yeah, it was one of many dramatic things in this seed where, you know, treesapthief very early on went to the boomerang chest, stole the key, and went back.
That's even more aggressive. Like, I can understand stealing a key. I don't really understand isolating one check in the basement of the castle.
I mean, it's an aggressive play that normally you would think is just you're making the call that, okay, this chest is nothing, and I'm going to play the whole seed without it. But the seed was so bad. I actually think at the end, treesapthief had been back there and been basically everywhere other than back for GT Big Chest. Like, seed was not good. Oh, by the way, if anyone's curious, we know by process elimination, the gold sword's in the pod Big Chest.
That's hilarious, you're right. Because I was like, wait, that means it's in pod Big Chest or Spike Cave, but if you guys already know it's in Spike Cave, that means that's... This one was not kind to anyone.
Yeah. There was a bit of a, I would say earlier on, there was a bit of a divergence for a little while that it was interesting to see how to check out was when you guys both did the mountain dip and rescued the old man. treesapthief never had gone up to castle, so did it without the sword. But you both rescued the old man, and then Leaf, you had seen that connector out at Eastern Palace entrance to take that chain up and go up the mountain and get your lamp for the first time, and logically
it turned out more importantly get your Eastern big key.
Yeah.
In the case of that situation, I'm so limited on I'm more than happy to break logic a lot of the time, but when I am that limited on possibilities, I want to know what the logic is, because that logic could have just easily been, hammer for getting something out of. Let me think. Yeah, could be a hammer.
Mimic Cave.
Get Mimic Cave, yes. And it could have been boots to get something out of a bonkable entrance. It could have been a glove. There were so many options it could have been in following the logic that I needed to follow the logic to rule out what the actual desire of the game was.
See, it was so interesting from our perspective, though, because, like, it seemed like it might just be like, okay, you do this other branch for the lamp, and skipping the lamp is always going to feel good. But the Eastern Big was so critical because that led to 2 other big keys, and, you know, things kind of grow from there.
Yeah.
It says how bad it is when I can tell you. When my inventory is nearly complete, I can tell you exactly where the 2 equipment items I'm missing are, and I'm only missing 3 pieces of heart.
One of them's on Spectacle Rock.
Yeah.
I know that one of them's there. I looked at it, I laughed at it, and I left it there.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you
and the slash shields on Zora's Ledge.
After checking the Thieves' Town big chest, I was sure to check your health, and when I was doing it, I looked at that, and I'm like, I don't know where the other 2 pieces of heart are that were left behind. I'm sure you saw them.
One of them, I think, was in Cave 45 somewhere.
I think Cave 45 was a compass, but...
I mean, one of the freestandings, and yeah, there was also Draining the Dam was a piece of heart.
Yes,
Draining the Dam, which I left that there too.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, think about it. You could have easily lived the 20 heart dream.
I would like to not... If I wanted to live the 20 heart dream, I'd play Completionist. And I would like to point out in my settings, that is set to a hard no.
And I mean, when you went to Zora, you easily, well, with some difficulty perhaps, could have done the Ancilla fake flippers and picked up the shield, so you would have had the mirror shield. Just think of all the stuff you left behind.
I will not deny I gave it approximately half of a thought in case Flipio was watching, just to frustrate him.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, that seed was remarkable. It was actually a really fascinating race to watch. It wasn't evident until very close to the end who was going to win that.
Yeah.
I felt like I was... I felt like
it was
I
quite
was getting dragged
evident
along.
You believed you were totally defeated because the seed win.
Oh, no, I
was
was not feeling defeated. I was just exhausted. This seed was exhausting.
Yeah, I mean...
And top file... My wrists do not like late boot seeds, which is why I like pseudo boots. So I would be completely honest, my hands hurt.
I mean, look at it this way. Somehow you got the boots at about a little over 2 hours in, and you still have the boots for half an hour.
That's not a good thing, top file.
It is not a good thing, no. But it was really like just watching that and watching all the big keys, all the small keys start piling up after a while. It was just like, oh god.
I like how
there were so many remarkable things. Like the point when like an hour and a half in, you look at both trackers and see no one's found a GT small key yet.
I was gonna say I'm at like an hour 45 with 0 GT smalls.
Oh, that was another huge point of drama in the seed, that treesapthief attempted to do the right side GT skip and just didn't pull it off, and then didn't have the GT small key later to get the ice rod because you somehow still had not found any, and it was just... Oh, this was a dramatic run. The seed was not kind, and a lot of things happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
also,
we know we did everything.
Yeah, yeah. You know where everything was.
We did everything. That's not normal between 2 runners.
And it wasn't that between the 2 of you did everything, it's that you both did everything.
The only things undone between the 2 of us is the pod big chest. The only thing I have not done otherwise is Spike Cave.
Yeah.
Like, that is a 214 on that tracker, on that collection rate. This was disgusting. So...
Hey, you know, You're 1-0. It turns out, no matter how ugly the seed, a win is a win. So congratulations.
I mean, it's a win. I will not say I feel like I won. I feel like chat won. I feel like you and Toffile didn't even win. And normally, the commentators are having the most fun.
I mean, look. If you're from the perspective of someone who wrote this logic, the fact that it's allowed to do this feels pretty good.
I was going to say, you wrote this, so I can blame you for this, right?
Oh, you can totally blame me for it, and I will eat that up.
How about... Okay, fine. I will. That's fair. But I will do something that I've considered smarter than that. And that is I will blame Zaphikel. He's there for a reason.
So what you're saying is we're going to make Zaf play this seed.
No. I actually respect Zaf. We're not making Zaf play this.
Okay, so we're going to make Ikir and Ruby co-op this
No.
seed.
Co-op. Really
co-op
to a beginner, because beginners need to learn the whole game, and when you play this seed, you'll play the whole game.
Co-op.
Ruby's been. I will tell you, Ruby's been had an earbud in at work listening to this or something.
Oh fuck. Okay, never mind. I hadn't seen him in chat.
Yeah, this was. Yeah, I think my final words here are: this was disgusting. GG treesapthief for playing this one out so long.
Yeah.
This was. I was saying this is disgusting. Like since about 45 minutes in, because I was seeing the logic and I was not liking it.
I think
I would also like to say that shout outs to the Hyrule Town Hall. We have 5 random settings and we still rolled base Crosskeys.
I mean, you got a 1 in 32 out of that. That's 3% chance.
I don't want to win the Ocarina of Time chess game top file.
LLR.
We know 3 pieces of heart behind you. Clearly don't want them.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I got nothing. Like this seed was just, honestly, I think the greatest thing of this seed was just like watching precisely after treesapthief pulled the boots and got the whatever the GT small or whatever it was on Desert Torch. It was just like, oh god. So and it was just watching I was just realizing how badly all the small keys had piled up on each other. It was just like, oh god, okay, well.
Oh god, that was a small key GT.
Yes, it was. Yes,
no,
it
wasn't. No, it can't have been. Not where Big Key is.
The Big Key was in Compass Room.
Big Key and Compass Room cannot. Isn't that locked by 4?
No.
Yeah, GT Compass Room's locked by 4.
Yeah, but if the Big Key's in Compass Room specifically, then it can be locked by 3.
Oh yeah, because you can't waste the key. Yada yada.
Oh.
You?
This is a logically required double GT climb. Toffile, why did you say that?
I also told AA that the worst thing you could do to somebody is make them play this in Logic, and he's disagreed with me, so, you know.
I am not making Fred play this in Logic.
I didn't say that. I said not to do that. Not to do that.
I agree with that. This is... Man, Toffile, AA, thank you for the absolute... Yeah. Well, I assumed you guys had a blast.
Yeah, it was really a shame. We had a technical error before the race started, and my incredible joke about how it was a race between 2 different Forest Ancilla was totally lost.
But thank you both for dedicating your night to this, your entire night to this commentary.
That's fine. I have not done Crosskeys. It's been a while since I've done.
It's your favorite tournament, so
yeah.
It's your favorite tournament. It's my favorite tournament. And thank you, Rocky, for again dedicating your night to the tracking and restreaming side of this. We do appreciate you a lot.
Hey, you're very welcome. And yeah, GG's to both you and treesapthief. He chose not to chat with us tonight, which is completely understandable after the night you guys have had. Big thank you to amazing Amorphos and Top File.
Ampharos is a Pokemon.
Yeah. I can barely say it even knowing that it's a Pokemon, so it's all good. It's a Top File for doing commentary. We're going to go ahead and raid out to friend of the channel, Tracy. We will catch you next time. Have a wonderful night, everyone.